So the opening and closing of stomata are controlled by the activity of the guard cells. What is runaway water? As you know, it is the excess of water that flows on the surface of the soil. Moving on to the 21st question. Match the words of column 1 with that of column 2 and choose the correct answer given below. So here this is A, B, C and D. Algae is R, then Riccia, that is S, then Spirogyra, that is Q, then Netum is P, that is A, R, B, S, C, Q and D, P. D, P. So algae autotrophic, Riccia liverwort, Spirogyra pond scum, then Netum gymnosperm, that is AR, BS, CQ and DP. Now let us see which is the option which is having. First we'll verify the first one, AR. Here it is AR, correct. Here it is AP, wrong. Option 2 is wrong. That is option B is wrong. Then here C, that is AS, this is also wrong. And AR, correct. This is correct. So we'll move on to the next one, BS. So here you can see BS. Here you can see BQ, wrong. Then CQ, here you can see CQ. Here you can see DP. Here also you can see DP. Here it is CS and DP. So this is wrong. So option 1, that is option A is correct. Option A is correct. Moving on to question number 22. The opening and closing of stomata are controlled by the activity of option A, guard cells, option B, epidermal cells, option C, mesophyll cells and option D, lenticels. Epidermal cells is the outermost layer. Mesophyll cells have chlorenchyma, which very important role is to carry on the process of photosynthesis. Then lenticels, they are the ruptured epidermal cells which help in exchange of gases to some 1% of transpiration takes place through lenticels. So the opening and closing of stomata are controlled by whom? By the activity of guard cells. So what are guard cells? They are the cells surrounding each stoma. You know, the bean-shaped guard cells, they help to regulate the rate of transpiration by opening and closing of the stomata. Obviously, they help in what? Exchange of gases. So the opening and closing of stomata are controlled by the activity of option A, guard cells is correct. Option B, epidermal cells is wrong. Option C, mesophyll is wrong. And option D, lenticels is wrong. So option A is correct. So the opening and closing of stomata are controlled by the activity of the guard cells. Moving on to the question number 23. In which of the following phyla, given as the adult shows radial symmetry and the larva shows bilateral symmetry? Option A, annelids. Option B, arthropods. Option C, mollusks. And option D, echinodermata. What do you mean by symmetry? As we all know that you can cut the symmetry is whether you are able to cut the body of an animal into two equal halves or not. So there are two types of symmetry. One is called bilateral symmetry and the other one is called radial symmetry. Bilateral symmetry where you can cut the body of an animal into two equal halves in one plane or one direction. Radial symmetry, you can cut the body of an animal into two equal halves in more than one plane or direction. So which is the animal phyla which shows both radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry? It is the only phyla where you come across, that is the echinoderms. So here the larvae of echinoderms have bilateral symmetry But during metamorphosis, what do you mean by metamorphosis? The transformation from the larval stage to an adult stage is called as what? Metamorphosis. So this is replaced with what? Radial symmetry. So in larval stage, there will be bilateral symmetry. But when it metamorphoses into adult, it will be radial symmetry, pentameric. You know, starfish, pentameric, radial symmetry, right? So the option A, annelid, is wrong. Option B, arthropod, is wrong. And option D, C, mollusk, is wrong. Option D, echinodermata, is correct. So option D. So option D is correct. Moving on to question number 24. A thin film of water covering the soil particles and held strongly by attractive forces is called. Option A, runaway water. Option B, hygroscopic water. Option C, gravitational water. And option D, capillary water. What is runaway water? As you know, it is the excess of water that flows on the surface of the soil. And gravitation, the very word itself will tell you, it is nothing but the groundwater found inside the soil, deep inside the soil. So is the water that is stored deep inside the soil. Capillary water is the water that can rise in a thin tube due to capillary action. So, a thin film of water covering the soil particles and held strongly by attractive forces is called hygroscopic water. Hygroscopic water. It is called hygroscopic water. Actually, it is called hygroscopic. So, option A, runaway, is wrong. Option B, hygroscopic, is correct. And option C, gravitational, is wrong. And option D, capillary, is wrong. So, option B. So, a thin film of water covering the soil particles and held strongly by attractive forces is called the hygroscopic water. Moving on to question number 25. Which one of the following groups of 3 animals each is correctly matched with their one characteristic morphological features? You can see a group of animals here and their morphological features which is not related here. Which one of the following groups of each is correctly matched? Here you can see the first one, centipede, prawn are arthropods, but sea urchin is a echinoderm. So it is wrong. So jointed appendages. Cockroach, locust, they are insects, but Taenia is a platyhelminth. This is wrong. So obviously the morphological features are wrong. So scorpion, spider, cockroach, they all belong to phylum Arthropoda. They have a ventral solid nerve cord. Correct. Here liver fluke it is, sea anemone, sea cucumber. But here liver fluke is different animal. It does not belong to these two. So even this is wrong. So option 3 is the correct one. 3 animals each is correctly matched with their one characteristic morphological features is 3. So option A, 3 is correct. 3 is correct. B, 1 is wrong. C, 4 is wrong. D is wrong. So option that is 3 is correct. Moving on to question number 26. Consider the following statements and select the correct one. Statement A. Pure water has maximum water potential. Statement B. The osmotic potential is 0 in pure water. Option A. Both the statements are correct and B is not the reason for A. Both the statements are wrong. B. Option C. Both the statements are correct and B is the reason for A, and both the statements are correct. Here, statement A. What is water potential? Is the potential energy of water per unit volume with respect to pure water on the addition of solute. As you know, with respect to pure water, on the addition of solute, what will happen to the water potential? It will decrease. So pure water means no solutes in water has maximum water potential. It is correct. Statement A is correct. The osmotic potential is 0 in pure water. Yes, pure water has what? 0 osmotic potential as there is lesser solute. So obviously no solute means it's pure water. More the solids, it is not pure water, right? then the water is less likely to move by osmosis. So even this statement is correct. So both the statements are correct and B is the reason for A. So option A, both the statements are correct and B is not the reason for A is wrong. Both the statements are wrong is wrong. Here both the statements are correct and B is the reason for A is correct. Then D, both the statements are correct is wrong. So option C is correct. Option C is correct. Moving on to question number 27. A bivalent of meiosis 1 consists of option A, 4 chromatids and 2 centromeres, and 2 chromatids and 1 centromere, 2 chromatids and 2 centromeres, then 4 chromatids and 4 centromeres. As we know, the two replicated homologous chromosomes associate to form what? A bivalent during meiosis 1. So it is also known as what? Tetrad. Tetrad means what? 4. And it is mainly during which stage? Pachytene stage of meiosis. So they undergo what? Chiasmata, X formation. So they will have what? Formation for X chiasmata formation for recombination. So it will be 4 chromatids and 2 centromeres. 4 chromatids and 2 centromeres. Option A is correct. Option B, 2 chromatids, 1 centromere is wrong. Then C, 2 chromatids and 1 centromere, 2 centromeres is wrong. Then 4 chromatids and 4 centromere is wrong. So option A is correct. So bivalent of meiosis 1 consists of 4 chromatids and 2 centromeres. Moving on to question number 28. Electrons from excited chlorophyll molecules of photosystem 2 are accepted first by option A, ferredoxin, option B, pheophytin, option C, cytochrome B, and option D, cytochrome F. So when the pigment is in the reaction center, that is of photosystem 2 of wavelength P680, absorbs photon, an electron in this molecule gets excited and first transferred to an electron acceptor, namely pheophytin, right? And then to a series of redox molecules. So electrons from excited chlorophyll molecules of photosystem 2 are accepted first by pheophytin is the answer. Option A, ferredoxin is wrong. Option B, that is pheophytin, is correct. And option C, cytochrome, is wrong. Option D, cytochrome F, is wrong. So option B is correct. Moving on to question number 29. Match the following list of animals with their level of organization and choose the correct sequence. So what do you mean by levels of organization? There are 4 levels. That is cellular level, acellular level, cellular level, tissue level, organ system level, right? So now let us see which are the organisms which are going to have the different levels of body organization. Organ level, that is fasciola. Cellular aggregate level, that is R, spongilla. Tissue level, obelia. Then organ system level, peritima. Peritima, that is peritima postuma, earthworm, fasciola hepatica, tapeworm, spongilla, obelia. So A is Q, B is R, C is S, then D is P. Now let us see which is the option which is having this combination. Here first A is S is wrong. Here A is S is wrong. Here AQ, here also AQ. Okay. Go to the next one. BR. Here it is BS, wrong. Here it is BR, correct. CS, correct. DP. So option D is correct. Option D is correct. Organ level, that is organ level, fasciola. Cellular level, that is spongilla. Tissue level, that is obelia. Then organ system level, peritima. Moving on to question number 30. Oxidative decarboxylation occurs during the formation of citric acid and succinic acid. Option B, citric acid and oxaloacetic acid. Option C, acetyl-CoA and succinyl-CoA, and option D, oxaloacetic acid and oxalosuccinic acid. So oxidative decarboxylation, what is it? It is a type of reaction in which there is an oxidation of the substrate along with the release of carbon dioxide. So during this process of cellular respiration, the pyruvic acid gets converted to what? Acetyl-CoA, and oxidation occurs and carbon dioxide is released. So some kind of a reaction occurs in Krebs cycle when ketoglutarate is converted to succinyl A, succinyl-CoA. So acetyl-CoA to succinyl-CoA. So option A, citric acid and succinic acid, wrong. Option B, citric acid and oxaloacetic acid, wrong. Option C, acetyl-CoA and succinyl-CoA is correct. Option D, oxaloacetic acid and oxalosuccinic acid is wrong. So option C is correct. Moving on to question number 31. The edible part of the fruit of apple is endocarp, thalamus, pericarp, perianth. I think all of us know apple is also called as what? Pome. It is a false fruit. And false fruit does not develop from the ovary, but it develops from any other floral parts like thalamus. Hence it is called as what? False fruit. So the edible part of the fruit of apple is what? Thalamus. So option A, endocarp, is wrong. Option B, thalamus, is correct. Option C, pericarp. Pericarp is the outermost layer of the fruit, ovary. Perianth, no. When sepals and calyx are not distinguishable, we use the word called perianth. So the option B is correct. That is, the edible part of the fruit of apple is thalamus. Moving on to the question number 32. Given below is an electron acceptor. Here you can see cytochrome. Right? Acceptor. Mention its status, which is labeled as A. An electron acceptor accepts what? Electrons transferred to it from another compound. So it is an oxidizing agent which accepts electrons and itself gets reduced in the process. So here the cytochrome gets what? Reduced. So here A is what? A is reduced. Cytochrome gets reduced. So option A, oxidized, is wrong. Option B, reduced, is correct. Option C, phosphorylation, is wrong. Phosphorylation is what? Process of formation of ATP. Then hydrated is wrong. So option B is correct. So given below is an electron acceptor. Mention its status, which is labeled as A. It is reduced. Moving on to question number 33. The floral formula is. So here you can see bisexual, petals 5, polypetalous. Here petals are free, gamopetalous 5, androecium stamens 5, epipetalous, then gynoecium, that is ovary, carpels 2. So as we know, what are the examples? Is that of what? Hibiscus. Option A, hibiscus. Option B, banana. Option C, tulip, and option D, vinca. So all of us know what is floral formula. Floral formula is a means to represent the structure of a flower using numbers, letters, and various symbols like what you see there, right? So here that formula belongs to vinca. So why do we say it belongs to vinca rosea or Catharanthus roseus? Vinca rosea, or it is also called as what? Catharanthus roseus. So here you can see bisexual, both. Then here you can see that is the here the calyx 5, gamma sepalous means fused. 5 petals, polypetalous, they are free, they are not fused. Then it is epipetalous. You can see the stamens attached to the petals. So epipetalous. Then stamens are of how much? 5. And ovary, that is gynoecium 2, bicarpellary. So it is of vinca. So option A, hibiscus, wrong. Option B, banana, wrong. Option C, tulip, wrong. Option D, vinca, correct. Moving on to question number 34. Interferons are the protein molecules produced from normal cells, infected cells, macrophages, B lymphocytes. What are interferons? Actually, interferons are the proteins that are released by the host cells in response, infected host cells in response to the attack of virus. So only when they are released only by the infected host cells, and they are categorized as what? Signal proteins, and they have the tendency to interfere with the viral replicative cycle and stop their multiplication or proliferation. So interferons are the protein molecules produced from the infected host cells. So normal cells, option A is wrong. Option B is correct. Infected host cells is correct. Then option C, macrophages, is wrong. Option D, B lymphocytes, is wrong. So option B is correct. Interferons are the protein molecules produced from the infected host cells. Moving on to question number 35. Tika is what type of disease? A fungal disease, viral disease, bacterial disease, or a protozoan disease? So this Tika is a common disease in groundnut caused by a fungus, either Cercospora arachidicola or Cercospora personata. So it is a fungal disease. So Tika is option A, fungal disease, correct. Option B, viral disease, is wrong. And option C, bacterial disease, is wrong. And option D, protozoan disease, is wrong. So Tika is a fungal disease. So option A, Tika is a fungal disease. Moving on to question number 36. Which of the statement is correct? Moving on to question number 36. Which of the statement is correct? Each cross, back cross is a test cross, is wrong. Each cross, test cross is a back cross, is correct. Each test cross is a back cross. Crossing F2 with F1 is a test cross, is wrong. Crossing F2 with P1 is called as a test cross. So each test cross will be like a back cross. So here test cross is what? F1 into parental recessive. Either it might be capital parental recessive. So option B is correct. Each test cross is a back cross. So what is back cross? Back cross is a cross of a hybrid with one of the parent. It might be capital T or small t, small t. So option B is correct. Option B. Moving on to question number 37. Amrit Mahal is a dual purpose breed or exotic breed, cross breed, or a draught breed. I think all of us know cattle are reared for three very important purposes. One for milking, that is milch breeds, then draught breeds, then for dual purpose, both for milch breed, for milk to yield more milk, and also to do the heavy duty work, that is for draught breed. Amrit Mahal is a draught breed of cattle that had been developed from Hallikar breed, as we know, of Karnataka. So they are poor milk yielder because they are draught breeds. They are poor milk yielders, and usually they are used for what? Heavy duty work, like for plowing, for pulling the bullock cart. So heavy duty work. So they are usually draught breeds. So option A, dual purpose breed, is wrong. They are not exotic breeds, wrong. Then they are crossbreeds, wrong. Draught breed is correct. So option D is correct. Amrit Mahal is a draught breed, that is the cattle which is used for heavy duty work. Question number 38. Gynecomastia is a symptom of Klinefelter syndrome, B. Down syndrome, and C. Turner syndrome, and Cry-du-Chat syndrome. Gynecomastia, you can call it as an allosomal disorder. Allosomal disorder seen in males where they develop breasts, and it is due to presence of one extra allosome, not the autosome, presence of one extra sex chromosome. So it will be 44 plus XXY. So it will be 47. Female, here you can see there is one extra chromosome. So they'll have more of female characters. Female characters. And this is a chromosomal complement of Klinefelter's syndrome. So Down syndrome is an autosomal syndrome. Turner syndrome is also an allosomal syndrome, but it is only occurring in females. Cray-Duchard syndrome is again an autosomal syndrome. So option A, Klinefelter syndrome is correct. Option B, Down syndrome is wrong. And option C, Turner syndrome is wrong. And option D, Cray-Duchard syndrome is wrong. Gynecomastia, that is the development of breasts in male, is due to Klinefelter syndrome. So option A is correct. Question number 39. The branch of biology that deals with the study of fossil. Study of fossil is called what? Paleontology. Fossil is what? Fossil is an ancient remain. It is an ancient remain. So the branch of biology that deals with the study of fossil animals is known as parabiology. Wrong. Philology. Wrong. Paleontology is correct. Parazoology is wrong. So option C is correct. Option C is correct. So the branch of biology that deals with the study of fossil animals is known as paleontology. Moving on to question number 40. A colorblind man marries the daughter of another colorblind man whose wife had a normal genotype for color vision in their. So what will be the chances in their progeny? All the children would be colorblind. All their sons are colorblind. None of the daughters would be colorblind, and half of their sons and half of their daughters would be colorblind. So here a colorblind man marries the daughter of a colorblind man whose wife had wife was a carrier. So that daughter whom he married was a carrier for colorblindness. So as we know, colorblindness is a sex-linked trait, X-linked trait. So we call it as X-linked inheritance. So genotype of women, that is XN normal, XN colorblind. Of man will be XN colorblind, that is Y. So the offsprings or the progeny will be XN, X small n, one normal but carrier girl, X capital N normal Y, that is one normal boy, then XN, one colorblind girl, XNY, one colorblind boy. So here you can see that half are normal and half are colorblind. So half of the progeny are normal and half of the progeny are colorblind. So which is the option which shows this statement? All the children would be colorblind is wrong. Option B, all their sons are colorblind is wrong. And none of the daughters would be colorblind is wrong. Half of their sons and half of their daughters would be colorblind is correct. So option D is correct. In their progeny, half of their sons and half of their daughters would be colorblind.